Factoring your trucking invoices can be great, but it can also be terrible. If you're caught up with a bad factoring service, you might be thinking, I signed a long-term contract. There's no way out. But signing a long-term factoring agreement doesn't have to be the end of the world. I'm Caroline, your trucking business professor here at the Bobtail Help Desk. My goal is to help your trucking business thrive. If that sounds good to you, subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to talk about what no factoring company would ever want to talk about: how to switch factoring services. All too often, factoring services will talk you into signing a long-term contract, which can be really hard to get out of when you start experiencing delays in payment, poor customer service, or excessive fees. If you find yourself in this situation, it's time to switch factoring companies. Probably over to Bobtail, because we don't do any of that nonsense. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees, just great customer service, easy to use technology, and fast payments. But regardless of the factoring company you go to, here's how you're going to make the switch. When you're ready to be freed from your existing factoring service, there's one big hurdle you're going to have to get over. That's the long-term contract. Most companies will require you to sign an agreement that lasts between 1 and 3 years. But don't panic. You can probably get out of it in one of two ways. First is to send notice and then wait for the contract term to end. If you choose to do this, it's important to understand the rules and requirements that your factoring company has about sending this notice. Different companies have different policies. You may have to send a 30-day notice, maybe 60, sometimes even 120 days. They also may have a rule around how you're supposed to send that notice, so it might need to be a physical letter sent to their office, while other companies will accept an email. If you're uncertain about when or how you're supposed to send this notice, don't worry, Bobtail can help. You can reach out to us and our team will help you go through your contract carefully to determine what that notice should look like. Failing to give proper notice can result in the auto renewal of your contract. This is why attention to this specific detail is so important. Your second option for getting out of a long-term factoring contract is to consider early termination. This involves sending a notice to your current factoring company and inquiring about the early termination terms and conditions. In most cases, ending a contract early means paying a termination fee, which can range from a couple hundred to several $1,000s. While this option many times involves an additional cost, it may be worth it to expedite the process of switching to a new factoring company. Again, if you need any assistance in understanding those terms and conditions around early termination, please reach out to us. We will help you out. Once you've given that proper notice and gotten out of that pesky long-term contract, now it's time for the buyout process. A buyout is when your old factoring company transfers your pending invoices to the new factoring company. Basically, the new factoring service is buying your invoices from the old one. This is to ensure that any outstanding payments get redirected to your new factoring company. Once this process is complete, you'll get a letter of release or LOR. Now you're ready to start using a new factoring service. The new company will send the LOR and notices of assignment, or NOAs, to the brokers that you work with. At Bobtail, we understand that this can be a really complex and confusing process, so we help you through every step of the way. While rare, there are some factoring companies that refuse to process buyouts altogether. This means that you'll have to wait for all of your outstanding invoices to get paid before you can start using a new factoring service. It's important to note that during this period, your customers still have an NOA from your old factoring company. They will not be able to pay you directly or pay your new factoring company until you have that letter of release. That means that you'll probably have to hold on to your invoices and delay payments until you can get that buyout process completed. Of course, many carriers just can't afford to not factor their invoices for a long period of time. If this applies to you, please reach out to us. Our buyout team is here to help you. They'll help you explore alternative solutions and navigate through this challenging situation. Remember, your factoring contract questions are always welcome here at Bobtail. And switching your factoring service to Bobtail means more flexible agreements, no hidden fees, and great technology and customer service. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We put out a trucking business video every Friday. I promise we don't always talk about factoring. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, the Bobtail Help Desk, to get your trucking industry questions answered. We've also started hosting virtual workshops every other Friday for trucking business owners. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go check those out. And I'll see you in the next video.